So,
Welcome back, everybody, and welcome! Today we are racing in Spain. The Tier 2 group is already on the way on the track, so let's just have a look at what these drivers are able to do today. With me, we have Snox, who's gonna be commentating alongside me. Hello, Snox.
hello, welcome. Pleasure to be here to commentate alongside you. And yeah, let's see what the drivers can do around Spain.
Yeah, it will be very interesting to see, especially after the Tier 1 race we had last weekend, in which they raced in Spain. Of course, Tier 2 was racing in Qatar last week, and Tier 2 will be racing tomorrow in Qatar. So we can compare them. It will be interesting to see if they will also have quite a few safety cars that we had, as there's some parts already flying on the track. Very interesting to see. Yeah, so let's actually just follow along with Outcast, and he is on his flying lap now. Let me just reduce the sound a little bit. There we go. Yeah, down into turn 1, of course. This is a tricky one. You just need to place the car correctly to have a good exit out of turn 2 and up the hill. Now, of course, full throttle, trying not to spin somehow. Yeah, it looks to be good weather today. No spots of rain currently. Of course, that could all change. Last time out, we had rain in qualifying, and then the race was completely dry. So it could be the other way around, as there's Williams going very slow, as Alfa Romeo's just getting past, with the DRS wide open. Which Williams is it? It's Matt. Okay, he's getting out of the way as the other drivers continue to improve their times. Of course, no time has been set as of yet.
SJ?
Yeah.
I would still need the invite.
Oh, my bad, my bad.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah, we just saw someone setting the time as I'm quickly inviting Snox. So he can actually watch alongside. Right, so Prime has the current fastest lap. That's been replaced now by Mists. He has he's the first driver to set a time in the 11.9, my apologies. So everyone else looks to be close somewhat. Prime, of course, within 2/10. The others a bit further down, with some drivers even in the 113s, and Lewis in the 114. Oh, it is! We just see it. He's putting off a performance of Lightning McQueen there, almost crashing into the wall, as Alfie is now getting on the line and is placing himself into the top 3. Also a 112, but it's a 112.4, so only 5/10 behind the fastest driver on track. Matt, the teammate of Mist, is still on the track as well. He has not set a time yet, so it's a Williams sandwich. Let's see what he can set a lap. It looks very wobbly for him there. Perhaps he's struggling. We saw him go off track earlier. We have a few yellow flags. Was that personal best time in sector 2? We shall see.
But
when
Williams,
he crosses
yeah.
the line. Is that the Red Bull going slow in the last sector?
Yeah, could be. Yeah, I believe it was the Red Bull going slow in the last sector.
Yeah,
But he was going into the pit lane as well as the Ferrari, as Matt now crossed the line, goes into P3.
well, so this shows the Williams boys do have some great pace, as Matt is just done with the track and cutting the corner there, after setting a good time. But it could be close. I mean, if you just look at the top 3, they're each between 2/10s. So maybe they just needed their warm-up lap. Of course, Matt did too, as he's cutting more corners. He needs to be.
I just wanted to say the line from Matt is very interesting.
Very interesting. Maybe he found a new track layout that.
Yeah, of course.
We need to still.
If he now takes my line through the second sector, then he's good. No, okay, he takes another. What?
Oh well. Prime is back on track as well. Dookie is out too. Duko. Sorry, the username Doogie.
Yeah.
Also a good name as well, in the Ferrari. Of course, he was leading the very first race of the season before he was removed from the league. He has now made his return after discussion with me, so everything is well now. He has missed quite a few races though, so if he wants to get up in the top 5 or top 10, he really needs to put out some hell of a performance, as he's now starting his second lap.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prime behind there now starting, I think, his time now too. Of course, he is the as Duko has a little moment coming out of turn 2. That definitely is gonna cost him some time.
Yeah, through the first sector already a second behind his first flying lap, so he can already abort this lap.
It looks like he did abort this the way he's going very slowly there in sector 2, my apologies. Yeah, so Prime and Mika on a hot lap. Alfie now making his way, as Prime has an invalidated lap time, so he will not set a lap this time around. There's a Ferrari going slow. I believe that's Duko, who also had an invalid time. Yes, it is. Okay, so more drivers going out now. Mika only 800s of 800s in sector 1. As he also has a slight moment there. That's gonna cost him some time too. So maybe, yeah, he's still pushing. Okay, so Mika's still pushing. He lost some time, but still 800th up. But another moment there. Prime left
Also,
the session.
Also, TJ now crossing the line for P5. Also, thanks to Lewis for telling me that I need to turn down my mic.
Okay, let me just do that. Please let us know in the tier 2 chat if the voices are right now. If we need to improve anything. Mika has now set his lap time as well. He's now up into P4. Yeah, that demotes TJ down to P6 again. But he's getting closer and closer to the time of the other drivers. Alfie now starting his time.
Outcast currently, 2/10 up on his first sector time, so he's currently improving.
Yeah, it looks promising. He is in the middle there, but he is one of the closer ones compared to Ethan and the ones below P9. So maybe he can find some pace. He just needs 3-4 10s, and then he's of course already in the middle of P4 P5. So yeah. But it does look like the race
He's going into the pits.
Yeah,
I believe he had a massive mistake in sector 2 because he was already 1.1 seconds slower out of the second sector.
Also coming in. Who is closest on the track to the line? Oh, I believe it's Alfie, and it is. He went off the track, so he is currently in the gravels. Very dangerous.
And disqualified from the session for driving in the wrong way.
Yeah, that was very dangerous, the way he went back on the track and just tried to cut the corner there. So that's gonna cost him dearly. He's gonna start last.
Yeah.
currently.
Also, Jack in the Aston Martin currently improving through the second sector with 1/10. Not much, but he is still improving, so it still could be everything in the last sector as he now crosses the line for 3/10 improvement, but still P8.
Yeah, so the Aston Martin driver of Jack in P8, of course, also some time away of the other drivers. So there's definitely quite a pace difference as Matt is back on the gravel and just
Man,
like sitting
what?
there on the track. What is he doing?
Yeah,
There's
I don't know.
the Ferraris now coming along. But yeah, luckily he wasn't in the way of anyone. Drivers need
I believe.
to keep in mind that they just yeah, well we shall see. TJ still on a warm-up lap as Jacko is. Did he finish the lap? I think so. So Jacko, the Ferrari driver, currently in P6. Jack just set a lap. Dooku starting his lap now at 2, as his teammate is going a bit slow. Perhaps had a moment. Yeah. So Jacko now getting out of the way of his teammate. Barthek, returned driver from the earlier seasons of SMAL, has made his return as well in the Haas team as he's aborting his lap. He was 2/10 up, but decided to end it right there with 5 minutes to go. So he still has enough time as TJ is also in the gravel now. Yeah. So he still has some time to go out there, take a new set of tires, as he's now complaining actually about his internet connection, as Jacko is just sitting on the track now as Matt did earlier. Interesting.
And Prime currently on a flying lap.
Yeah, 500s up in Sector 1 already. Not much, but I mean, compared to the time of Mist, that could help him out a lot. We do have to remind ourselves that Mist, who's currently in pole position, has a 5 place grid penalty, so we will have a lobby restart after qualifying, so it can be applied due to the accident in the race last time out, as Prime has now set the fastest sector fastest second sector time, already almost 2/10 up, his best time currently. So this might be the lap for pole position as we follow along, as he now crosses the line.
And it's only that is a close gap between Prime
is very
and
close indeed. So it wasn't enough for pole position as it stands, but he is the second fastest. You can see the difference, it's barely any. So very impressive by these drivers, as Mika is on a lap himself as he crosses the line. That promotes him up to P3, so he gained some time in this lap. This is probably his final lap with 3 minutes to go.
As Matt also now starts his final flying lap.
Yeah. Ooh, slight moment there, coming out of turn 2. A few drivers.
Mika retired. Okay.
Okay, interesting. Maybe he was like, okay, this is all I've got. Not enough time to go again anyways. Or he had a moment, as we saw a few drivers struggling there in this section, as Matt has invalid time.
Yeah. It's a crucial corner to get your time invalidated, like here in the exit of the last corner in the second sector. So you really need to keep it on point through the corners and on the exit.
Yeah, so if he has enough fuel, of course, he could go again if his ERS is loaded. It's not. Okay, he's going in. That's qualifying done for him. His teammate is also coming in. The only Alpine currently still in qualifying is also now about to start his final hot lap, as a few drivers are making their way out of the pits, it seems. Mist has now also retired, so that's his qualifying done too. I don't think we will see Prime out of the box, except unless he does somehow fly through the track. So who is on a flyer? It's TJ and
Prime is
Outsider.
currently on his outlap. He's driving out again.
Interesting. All right. So,
So Prime hasn't had enough. He wants to get pole position, and he will try, even though the time is against him at the moment.
it truly is. So he needs to speed up and speed up quick. He needs to hope that nobody gets in his way as TJ has a moment, and qualifying done for him too. He won't be able. Does he have damage? Difficult view. It doesn't seem so, but his tires are definitely ruined. So what can Outcast do? He's now in the final sector. Can he improve his time this time around? Last time he went into the pits, of course. Where does this put him? Stays in P8. Okay, so he did not improve, but it does look like as if he's going for another lap. TJ is as well.
As Duco will now cross the line. I didn't saw if he was improving, but he was improving and improved up into P4 now as Formula Bucket gets into P1 into pole position with a 1:11.4.
Where did that come from? The Haas, who was like more at the bottom during qualifying, just improved by half a second to overtake Mist and Prime.
It just took the sandbags off. Honestly, there is no other explanation. Either sandbags off, let an esport driver drive, or hacks. But I just believe sandbags off.
Yeah.
As Prime is now going through the second sector, through the final corner of the second sector. Duco retired in P4, and Prime is down on his time by 1/10 at the 1.5 tenths at the moment.
Yeah,
now it's everything in the final sector. Is he going to improve? No, he spins out. He spins out.
I mean, he didn't improve his time anyway, but that just made it final. So Prime won't be able to get pole position because Barthik, out of nowhere, just decided, you know what, I would truly fancy a pole position here. You know what, this is my first race back. I'm gonna do it in style. So, what a return this is indeed for the Haas driver. Ethan there, retiring from qualifying as well. So this is the grid. Raft, however, will be demoted to P7 after his crash in Qatar. So that will promote everyone behind him up. And everyone just hang on. We will have a little break. We will reset the lobby, and then we shall start soon.
So,
Yep.
yeah. As we have the 5 lights ahead of the drivers, and it's lights out, and away we go. And no one wants to start? Okay, now it's 5 lights are out, and away we go. Apparently, and the safety car's already out.
Yeah, and it seems that Prime has already been given a drive-through penalty.
For jump starting, but the line was out.
Yeah,
So there,
this is
there-
an interesting glitch. In the
Is it-
back, a few drivers are getting very close there.
So that's a very normal EA thing, to be honest, at the current time.
Well, it looks like nobody has changed positions due to the safety car joining us very, very early on. Let's actually just have a look at the tire choices of each driver. We are staying in the lobby as of now. We will see if it stays this way or not. Guys, we will not restart now. Right. We have 4 drivers currently on the medium tires. Everyone else is on soft, so the drivers on the soft tires are definitely gonna have an advantage due to this. We shall see if the safety car is going in the next 2 laps. Hopefully so. I wonder if the safety car was called due to the glitch that we had with the start. So possible race strategies: soft to mediums or soft to hards. We saw already some drivers are out on the mediums, the rest is on softs. Yeah, not much going on currently. Just the drivers following the safety car after a glitch we had. Perhaps the safety car is coming in this lap or next lap. Some drivers changed positions. Interesting overtaking move there. But they changed back now. Just warming up the tires. Some of the comments by the drivers.
Yeah, so at the moment it's a very common thing for the EA service to get out glitches. Normally in real life it would have been an aborted start, extra formation lap. In the game it's just a safety car directly at the beginning. So, I mean, either ways it's a lap extra for the drivers, so...
Yeah, it's a shame for Prime. He had the jump start. We didn't really get to see that because the lights were off.
Yeah, exactly.
And during the safety car, he cannot go into the pit and finish it.
But-
But the safety car is going in this lap.
And Duco tries an interesting line.
Yeah, at least it looks like he has no damage, so he can be lucky about that. Prime, though, needs to be quick with his drive-through in case there's another safety car coming their way. So if possible, maybe going in this lap already.
Yeah, just wanted to say I
to
would
make
go
sure it's
in
gone.
directly.
Yeah, just making sure the penalty is gone. It looks like though he's staying out. So if all goes well, there won't be a safety car, and he will be able to get that time penalty removed or drive-through penalty. We have some yellow flags in the back, but no driver has spun out. Prime is going on a move on Duco, up into P2, back, or should I say back into P2. Ferrari, the teammate of Duco, all the way down in last.
As we got 3 wide into turn 4 right now with Mika, Ethan, and Duco.
Yeah,
And
interesting battles
Mika
going on.
and Mika came out on the top in this battle at the moment. Prime
Already
currently in P5.
Yeah, Mika
Lost a
already
few
up
places.
into P2. Ethan, Dooku, there, a very, very close battle there going on between these two drivers. They need to be careful. Let's see what Dooku can do as he's diving down. No, he's backing out.
Yeah, he tried the move. He tried to trick a move there to force the Red Bull off the line. The Red Bull didn't react, so he's gonna try maybe with another shot into turn 1.
Yeah,
As
Prime
Prime
now
now
making...
serves his drive-through penalty.
Yeah, he's serving his time, so in case there's another safety car, he has done that already. The
As
Haas of
Dooku goes
Lewis...
through
Yeah, Dooku going
into
up
turn.
into P3. Did he do a double overtake? Missed already up in P5. Of course, he started P7 after his grid penalty. TJ following along there. As there's a switch going on in the back as well. Outcast and Jack having a battle there. Jack just losing out a couple places. Outcast ahead in P7. Alfie in between these two drivers. As the battle in the top 5 continues as well. Mist is very, very close to the Red Bull of Ethan. Is he having a look at the inside? Yes, he is. He's slightly there touching the rear, but yeah, nothing happened luckily for these drivers there.
Yeah, of course, the drivers need to be very cautious right now in the beginning stages of the race because you don't want to destroy the tires right away, even with DRS now DRS now activated. So they're gonna try to stay as close to each other as they can, but also try to not destroy their tires in the dirty air at the moment.
Yeah, as the battle in the back also continues, Jack now has overtaken Alfie, so there is a very interesting battle as Mika is getting closer as we see the overtake move of Ethan, or defending move by Ethan, not wanting to let Miss by. He's having another look as the Red Bull is already you see it flashing in the back saying help me, I'm saving battery because it's used up pretty much already, so it needs to recharge. Missed now ahead of Ethan. Well done by him. I think he went on the outside. Ethan defended, but couldn't defend enough. But DRS is enabled, as you already mentioned. So let's see what the Red Bull driver can do now to perhaps return to P4.
Yeah, as I might need to restart my game because I'm stuck in race directors.
Okay. As we actually are seeing a battle between Mist and Ethan continuing. Ethan tried to overtake, didn't exactly succeed. Mika now closing in on Barthik too. He had DRS as well. He's in that zone. Hasn't been able to go for an overtaking move yet. Let me know when you're ready and I will invite you back.
Yep, no problem.
TJ within a second of Ethan, so he will have DRS activated for himself too. In the back, a few more drivers and having a nice look, and it's Alfie, the teammate of Ethan, who is battling it out with the Jack one more time. Now going on the outside move and overtaking the Aston Martin once more. But he needs to be careful because Jack is still close enough. He will have DRS the other time around, and he will be defending this position. Mika is gaining and gaining. But just sitting along there behind the Haas driver. Raft is now also getting away a little bit from Ethan, still within that DRS zone, however. Jack is 4/10 down on Alfie, still holding himself in that 1 second gap though. Outcast also behind him. Prime still all the way down in P11, as Dooku is the first driver to receive a 3-second time penalty for track limits, I assume. Yeah, so Luis, it's currently a Haas sandwich, as it was earlier in qualifying by the two Williams drivers. Barthak in P1 and Lewis all the way in P12. Of course, we only have few drivers tonight. Outcast now gaining on Jack. He will have DRS enabled this time around, maybe fancying an overtake move here. What will he do? He is staying right behind in that slipstream. DRS wide open. He's taking the inside line. He doesn't even need to wait for the turn, because he's fully ahead now into turn 1 and the exit of turn 2. Jack has to just sit there in P9 now, as he has been overtaken. If do you need an invite?
Yeah, please.
Yep.
I didn't want to break you up on your commentating.
Yeah, no problem. Just there we go. Invite has been sent. That was fine, because Ethan is now closing in on Mist, as Luis is the second driver now to receive a 3-second time penalty. As it currently stands, if this were the gaps and the results, Dooku would be demoted. So the drivers behind him don't have a penalty, and they are within the 3 seconds. So he really needs to start sending it down there, and just go flat out. As Ethan is going flat out, as Mist is going for an interesting move to defend the Red Bull driver. Very bad view, but Mist and the Red Bull of Ethan are colliding. So they both are losing a major amount of time, as they are dropping down many places, which gives TJ the position in P4. So this is the top four for both Alpine drivers. What is he doing?
And it's a big collision. They are trying to recreate 2016 Mercedes, but what the hell was this?
A full-on
so
attack
unnecessary
mode by Mist. He did the same in Qatar. So it's clear this driver is not worthy for league racing. You can see how once someone does something, he just goes full attack mode and ruins the other drivers' races. He's just, look how he's driving on there. He has a 5-second time penalty now added to his time. He lost his front wing. Ethan, we cannot see it, but maybe he has damage as well on the side pod. This behavior is unacceptable, and it will be dealt with by the stewards after the race.
Who, as Mist also wanted to get into him again, and he goes into him, and Ethan is out.
Ethan has to retire the race.
Ethan is out of the race due to a Williams driver who cannot be put under pressure from a Red Bull and can't deal with it, apparently.
Yeah, this Williams driver is currently on
as he is
mode.
Now blocking the Aston Martin of Jack. I believe Jack has right now the same fear in his eyes as everybody behind Mazepin in 2021, but
this is absolutely unacceptable. This driver needs to be removed from the race, because he's only causing carnage at this point. Ruining everyone that he sees in this path. Unless someone else takes him out first, he will ruin other drivers' races. Furthermore, is Jack just not sure if he's trying to kill him or trying to survive, but he's sliding all over the place.
I believe he's trying to survive against him. So
not sure if that was a glitch or an incredible
I
save.
believe due to the collision he had there, either he's jumping around due to his internet, or he could also have rear wing damage because he had a hefty impact
and the
into
wall,
barrier
yeah.
with the rear wing. So I
Yeah,
believe.
Jack is trying to get rid of him. Jack is doing
Yeah.
the real hero's
He's
work
trying
here.
to
Get rid
just
of the rogue Williams drivers. He's now making his way into the pits, trying to escape this madness. Yeah.
Yes, it is completely unacceptable, such behavior.
It's ruining everyone's race at this point. Bartek is now
Yeah.
making his way to the main straight, so he will encounter the rogue Williams driver as well. So let's just keep an eye out for that. None of the drivers are close enough for a battle. Luis, the teammate of Bartek, is actually the closest currently. Maybe he...
As he's now encountering the deadliest Williams.
Oh, and he's also crashing out!
He's out!
He's out as well. This is a safety car.
Yeah, this is a safety car. Honestly, this would have been a pretty good opportunity for a flag that is...
At this point, it might be better to just restart.
and flag him for the race.
Right.
Or not.
Yeah, this is me, admin, calling for a restart. Everyone, please retire. If you're listening, everyone, please retire from the race. We will use the current grid and restart.
Yeah, that is completely unacceptable behavior by the Williams driver. And why do they leave the session? They just could have retired.
Yeah.
But also this is now a great opportunity for Lewis to get back up into the position because he was nearly getting lapped by his teammates at the current point.
So the Williams driver has been banned from the league. I have an assumption as of why he has done this, but further investigations will tell. Well, everyone retire. We will have a restart.
Yeah, and I was right with my assumption. Jack had rear wing damage due to the collision on the exit of turn 3 due to the Williams, so there was no point in him to continue. And yeah.
As beautiful as this currently looks, the Alpine winning. This is of course
something you won't see this season in real life. Something you won't see this season in real life. No, wait, you can see it in real life. Either you watch F2 or F3, or you have a reverse grid where the whole race is just on the safety car. So
exactly.
Spa 2021.
Or we just go back in time and watch the Hungarian Grand Prix, which is still till this day just one hell of a race.
Yeah.
It's just full of memes. Of course, the race started, and then
Valtteri Bottas.
Lewis Hamilton as well, starting on the grid. Esteban
the best meme.
Everything along.
The best meme, Lewis starting with everyone who's greater than him. And then at the back, the medical car. Better. Nah.
We will be back in just a second, guys. Right. So we are just waiting a little bit for the grid to finalize. We are back after a major red flag. We had to remove a driver. I thought the grid is from before we left.
Restarted.
Yeah. I'm confused by my data right here on my right side, but it's the wrong result. So we should just wait just a second. I think it was Bartek who starts in P1, Mika in P2, and Dooku in P3. But we shall see.
I believe Dooku P3 or P4. One of those things was it.
No. Yeah,
Yes.
put Dooku in P3 as we have the lights out.
And we have the same thing as before, and
No
now
safety
it
car, no
goes-
safety car this time.
But Bartek already losing the start, and there's a big collision at the back. Big collision at the back, and
Three
we have
drivers out already!
both Williams and the Ferrari out. Mika currently in P1 with only yellow flag, now safety car out.
What was that?
What a great start.
I absolutely missed what happened. I mean, I saw what happened. I just can't
Bartek,
understand what happened.
I believe Bartek stalled, was ghosted through everyone except his teammate and the Ferrari. I just see the replay from the stream. It looks like Bartek was ghosted, and then he got unghosted at the moment his teammate drove into him.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was really unfortunate for both of them, for all three of them.
Well, we were very optimistic. No safety car at the start, but here we are once again.
But I believe,
Jack
the
and
safety
Ethan
car.
each have a 5-second time penalty. Most of the
Yeah.
grid, no, my apologies. Jack has a front wing damage as well. The others should be fine, but
Alfie and
doesn't seem
Outcast
minor.
on the mediums. Doco now in the pits,
yeah, it seems to be
as well as Jack
yeah.
and Ethan.
Everyone but Mika, Outcast, and Alfie. And Prime have... No, my apologies. TJ is still out on track as well. So only Jack, Dooku, and Ethan have found their ways into the pits. Dooku and Ethan have the luxury of getting rid of the penalties. This should not be possible during safety cars, but we've mentioned it before. This game is broken, and so many things that shouldn't be possible are possible. So here we are. They get their time removed. Perhaps it's for the better. Less work for the stewards afterwards in that sense. Of course, it's a shame for both Haas drivers who are losing out major points. Retiring at that restart we just had. Of course, Bartek was P1. So that was a chance for him to win. And it's gone now.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Mika is now in P1. He and Alfie had a great battle in Belgium. That time around, Mika won that battle. He won the race. His first race in the league as well. So maybe they get to fight again for the win today. But only time will tell. Let's have a
As I
look.
now saw the
Let's have a look at the tires. Dooku, the only one on hard tires. Everyone else, or most of everyone else, never mind. Half the grid has soft tires, half the grid has medium tires, and the only one on hards is Dooku.
Yeah, and I just saw the explanation from Lewis why he couldn't control his car. It was because his dad came in and wobbled on the steering wheel.
But that's an interesting...
So that is a very good explanation why you retired.
That of course is just That's
Very
not on a
unfortunately.
penalty list. But
So disqualification for the next 3 races. Dad wobbled on the steering wheel.
disqualification for the dad. Well,
You
that's a
can't enter
first.
his room anymore.
That's the first. But it really is a shame though.
Yeah.
That ruined his teammates and his race.
Yeah. Would
that
have
will
been a good
be
opportunity
that will be a
for.
interesting maybe discussion within the team. Maybe between Barthik and the dad of Lewis. Maybe they will have a conversation. How dare you
1v1.
wobbling the steering wheel?
1v1 out on the streets. So we're gonna deal with like real men. Come
As
on.
the safety car is
Rock,
making
paper,
his
scissors.
way into the pits, he said, "You know what? I don't want to fight the dad. Let me just quickly remove myself from the equation."
I had
Mika,
nothing to do with this. He told me to.
Mika's strong enough. He is leading the pack. He's ready to battle whatever comes his way. He gives the pace. He decides when to start. He is slowing down. He already said before the race his pace isn't the best. But let's see how good it actually is. As we have green flags back and racing on the way. Alfie is already 2 tenths behind Mika. Doesn't
And
seem like as if
already fighting against Prime into turn 1.
yeah, Prime
Prime
just
coming
getting
out on the
ahead
top.
there of the Alfa Romeo, so he's now back into P3. He of course started on I think P2 the race before he we had that glitch and he was demoted all the way into the back. Ethan in P6 still. I think Dooku has been overtaken as well. He does have some kind of disadvantage currently, because everyone else have soft tires and medium tires, so they will be a bit quicker. But of course that will change throughout the race. As we saw it in the
tries to go
background.
down the inside into turn 10 and he spins out. He spins himself out on Outcast. He was alongside him, turned
And we
in.
see Dooku now hitting the rear of the Aston Martin and also spinning out. So within a few seconds, we have 2 drivers losing a bunch of time, falling down some places. As Mika is still
Prime
leading.
hits. Yeah, and Prime hits Alfie going into turn 1. Alfie braking a bit earlier than Prime has expected. And then slightly bumping into turn 1. Either that or it was a connection issue with netcode.
It doesn't seem as if either of them have damage. I believe TJ does have some damage after that collision. So he will have to manage that. Outcast is getting very close to the rear of Ethan. Perhaps he will study that Red Bull as I studied it, of course, last time around when I was following Prime for most of the race. So Prime has great pace on this track, as he showed last time out in Tier 1. Mika already putting an amazing effort into this race, leading by 2 seconds. So he's getting his Dutch DNA out of himself onto the track, as Prime is now going for an overtake move on Alfie.
Alfie into turn 1 and is through.
Yeah.
Into turn 1 and battle continues afterwards, and also Jack getting a bit closer to Outcast. Maybe in sector 2 he will try and move.
Yeah,
if he is close enough by then.
He was getting close, but it just wasn't enough. Red Bull are now P3 and P4 as Prime promotes himself up to P2. Dooku and TJ in the back are battling out as well. TJ just having a moment there, losing some more time, still with that front wing damage. Prime is, I believe, on the move today. I think he wants that podium position back, or at least maybe a win. Fancy a win. Do you think that might be possible for him?
Yeah, sure, it's possible for him. He proved himself last week in Tier 1 in Spain, so he has the opportunity and the pace to get into P1. The question is Mika smart enough to fight it, or is letting him through and hoping that the tires will go off earlier so he can maybe undercut him or overcut him?
Well,
As both Red Bull drivers switched places before turn 1.
We saw in a very beautiful camera angle just how Ethan used his DRS to get past his teammate. Prime now only Prime and Mika only separated by 1.2 seconds, so that 2-second gap to the leader has been reduced, as suddenly it's only half a second.
Yeah.
Wonder if
Mika had a massive
moment.
mistake.
Oh, okay.
Mika has a massive mistake
have
going
yellow
into
flag.
the corner, and Jack spun out.
Yeah, Jack has spun out. We have a yellow flag, no safety car. We had one, of course, at the start, but none at the moment.
As Prime is very close to the back of Mika, going through the last corner, and now on the main straight with DRS. He's close enough. He's going to go the long way around left hand side, and he's through before even the first corner. New race leader Prime in the AlphaTauri bot. Mika is trying to fight back. Bot is losing time right now.
Yeah, Mika, of course, went to the right side of the track to try and defend, to cut that slipstream off, but it didn't work. Prime just, as Mika is now finding to look for a gap there, he is getting close, but it wasn't enough. So he looked and looked. He tried to repeat what Senna said. If you
no
see
longer
a gap,
go for the gap that exists. You're no longer a racing driver. And TJ, Mika is really trying to do it. As we now go into turn 10, he's going for the left hand side. He's going for the inside. Mika trying to hang in there through turn 10, alongside Prime. Now through turn 11.
As they go side by side.
Prime has a bit of oversteer there, and Mika going off track a bit, but Mika staying behind now through the final corner.
Mika is gonna have the DRS now.
30.
Mika is gonna have the DRS and slipstream. So can he overtake Prime?
It's going to be inside or outside. Outside it goes, and he's through before the first corner. So we have another lead change between Mika and Prime.
Of course, Prime has already, as mentioned before, some practice in turn 1 with an Alpine driver. The last time it was me. So he knows how to battle in that corner, as the battle behind these two also continues between the two Red Bull drivers. Yeah, fantastic how these two can battle it out. Of course, clean as well. No major crash has happened, and hopefully it will not happen.
Yet.
Beautiful to watch.
Yeah, of course. Good for Prime. He has just to remember the car. He doesn't need to remember another car, because he's only fighting an Alpine in the last 2 races he drove. So, and he's now back on the main straight with DRS behind Mika. So he is going to pass this time on the right hand side, this time on the inside for the corner, and
Mika
is back through before the first corner.
No.
Alfie. As Alfie and Ethan battled out again. Both are.
Look at that move!
Flashing.
Switchback by Ethan. But it didn't work out. It looked, I think, perhaps even more fancy on camera. Ethan tried to do a switchback, but it didn't work, so he's still behind his teammate. The top 4, each only separated by half a second. Of course, Alfie almost 2 seconds behind Mika, so he cannot gain the DRS advantage as, of course, the others have.
As Ethan and Alfie battle it out through turn 10 now. Ethan now in front of Alfie. And I believe it is really a good strategy now to let Ethan go, because he's currently on the soft tire as Ethan now goes into the pits.
Yeah, he's
So Ethan
changing
now
his
with the
tires.
undercut.
Yeah.
Now with the undercut against everyone else. Gonna fall back, and Mika now on the inside of Prime into turn 1. We have a fight into turn 1 now as Prime is still in front. Bartek left the session, he was already out as Mika tries to go the long way around. Now on the inside into turn 4. Is he going to dive down? He's going to dive down.
Late, very late braking there by the Alpine driver. Did it work out though? It did. So
and Mika now race leader.
In the lead.
Yeah, that's the first time we had quite a fight into turn 1 with these two, as Mika has had a bit of a mistake going out of the corner.
And
Prime
now is gonna take the advantage out of that with DRS now open. Is he gonna fancy an overtake here? No, I think he wants the DRS in the next main straight.
Yeah, it was the mistake in turn 7 that cost Mika a bit of time there, and maybe even the opportunity to build a much bigger gap to the driver behind.
His teammate TJ all the way down in P8. Ethan has changed his tires, but managed to get ahead of TJ.
As Prime is now going through the inside into turn 1 as Mika is fighting back on the inside into turn 2 and is still ahead.
So there was barely any space. Mika decided to take all of the curb that was given to him, and he managed to stay ahead. Brilliant. So this was a really close battle, and it's good to see that neither of them have any damage. The tires, however, remember Alfie has medium tires, so his tires won't be used as much as the two drivers ahead of him, so they are definitely losing pace, but they're still managing to keep ahead of them, so that's impressive. It will be interesting though, when are they gonna decide to make the pit stop? They are the only ones with TJ currently on the soft tires, so are they going in? No, they're not.
If I would bet, I would say that Prime and Mika would go in next lap, or one of them goes in this lap now. Prime is on the inside and tries to get through on Mika and now gets the job done. No, he does not, because Mika is still right behind him going through turn 3, but now he's in the lead of the race again.
Yeah, Prime now getting back ahead of Mika. As Alfie is gaining his time as well within that DRS zone. But the fact that these two drivers who have more used tires are still managing to stay ahead of the Red Bull is impressive.
Yeah, it's just like the tire degradation right now in Jeddah in real life last week with the Mercedes against the McLaren, as now Mika is behind Prime. I thought he would try move going into turn 10, but no, he stays behind.
Yeah, Outcast.
What do you think? Will one of them pit this lap?
They should. Are they?
As Prime goes into the pits now.
Prime is going in, going for the undercut. So Mika needs to go flat out and just try and gain as much time as he can, hoping that perhaps Prime doesn't have the best pit stop, perhaps, so he gets some time through that. He won't have the advantage of DRS, so and Alfie might just take some time away from him.
As TJ spins out in the final sector and loses his front wing.
And this is a virtual safety
11.
car. This could play out brilliantly for Mika, or it could turn out extremely painful. TJ now making his way into the pits. Of course, during the virtual safety car, you need to reduce your time. It's not like a full safety car. So maybe Alfie is going into the pits now too. He saw how long these soft tires are able to hold on with that pace. Virtual safety car has now ended. Mika is getting closer to the pits. Is he going in this lap?
I believe so, yes. As
he is.
Goes into the pits and Alfie is following him.
Yeah, Alfie and Mika now making their way into the pits. Outcast is following them. Dooku is staying out on track. He, of course, has the hard tires. So,
new race leader Dooku in the Ferrari. Now with 13-lap-old hard compounded tires.
So either he's deciding to stay out until the end, hope maybe for another safety car, then go on softs. Ethan, his undercut worked brilliantly because he's now ahead of Mika as Prime gets ahead of Mika at the pit exit. So the undercut of both Ethan and Prime worked brilliantly. Prime is just ahead of Mika, who of course has cold tires now. Ethan, who pitted way earlier, is like 4 seconds ahead of them. They lost a lot of time through the battles. Alfie also still battling there with Mika.
As Alfie now go through the inside in turn 7 and goes through for P4.
So Mika dropping down to P5, who was of course before the pit stop leading the Grand Prix.
And going for the inside move into turn 10. Sorry to interrupt you, but he goes through on the inside in turn 10 and pushes the AlphaTauri of Prime a bit off track.
I wonder if he just caught him sleeping there in that corner. Perhaps Prime didn't expect it, and then suddenly, oh look, it's my sister team.
I mean, Alfie really has the advantage against Mika, but not also against Prime with the softer compound, but especially against
Prime
Mika
is going back ahead now into turn 1, side by side. They're touching briefly. Alfie just staying ahead now. As Mika is going down
Mika
in the
is on the inside.
Who's going
and
to
goes
have the
through
advantage?
on the inside on the exit of turn 3 and is through going into turn 4. So Mika now in P4, also with the purple first sector at the moment. So
these two drivers are doing everything they can to get back into in the top 3, and you can see it the way they are pushing each other, especially as well. But they're losing time, so let's not forget that. But as long as they have DRS, you can just see there Ethan passing us. Just amazing to see how these drivers are battling it out there.
So for everyone who's watching who wants to see a Red Bull fight other cars, look here. Don't look in real life. There's just Verstappen dominating and Paris with a 1-2. Look here. Here's a Red Bull fighting. So
Dooku is also... Yeah, Mika has now set the fastest time. You mentioned it. He had the purple second sector or first sector. He's looking a move at Alfie, but he just has to stay behind. He needs to be careful, though. I think he just got a warning for track limits because it did look like he just went off. So he needs to be careful not to get any of these penalties. Just stay within the white lines. I know it sounds easier than done, but I mean, I think a 3-second time penalty would be absolutely crucial at this time if you remember how close they actually are at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, like if Alfie gets a time penalty, it would automatically drop him down into P5 at the moment. So even if he stays there in front, so let's just hope they keep it between the white lines and don't go off track as much as they really need to. As Mika now gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits, as we talked about it.
Yeah, we just mentioned it. It's crucial, so he needs to either just go full throttle, somehow find the time.
As he now does, with going through on Alfie before turn 1. and staying in front.
Yeah, the gap between Dooku and Ethan is also dropping down. Earlier with 7 seconds, now it's only 4 seconds. The gap between Mika and Ethan has also dropped down. I think it was like 4 seconds, 5 seconds. It's now 2 seconds.
Yeah, but for Doku, we need to remember he's on 16 lap old hard tires, so we should expect a second pit stop from him now in the last parts of the race. Maybe even now going on to the soft compound, or he's gonna try to stay out the last 5-6 laps on those hard old medium tires, of course, hard old compounded tires.
Yeah.
As he now goes into
He's
his
crossing the line.
17th lap.
Yeah. Ooh,
So
Alfie going off there at the exit, but
and has a better run through the main straight. Sorry to interrupt you.
no worries, mate. No worries.
As you know,
Yeah, Alfie now back
goes into
ahead,
turn 3.
making it a double podium, of course, for the Red Bull team. They will be very pleased. They, of course, had a team principal switch after their former team principal retired and sadly left the league after he was with us from the start. So, Swixy, new team principal. I assume they are watching as well, so this is a little shout out to you. As we're watching, or continuing to watch these brilliant drivers battling it out, Alfie and Ethan, their time has been, their time has shrunk down a little bit as well. It's just 1.1 seconds now. Perhaps Ethan is trying to slow down a little bit to give him the DRS advantage to stay ahead, as we saw in Singapore with, of course, Sainz and Norris.
Yeah, it's just a brilliant masterclass strategy-wise from him. As now Prime goes again for the overtake against against Alfie before turn 1, and Jack with a 3-second time penalty for track limits.
As Alfie
as
had
Mika also goes
moment
through
coming out of
into turn 3. And they're still side by side going into turn 4, as now Alfie is still in front through turn 4. Is Mika going to try a dive down turn 5? No, he's on the outside now with the switchback, baby. A bit of touching there on the exit. Now,
yeah, a little moment from both drivers. They're losing a lot of time there to the drivers ahead. So TJ also has a 3-second time penalty. Their time penalties in the back there in P7, PA won't matter because their time, because their gaps are so huge. As Mika just has another moment there.
Yeah, as we also see Prime right on the rear wing from Ethan. He's already sniffing the motor oil as
DRS
Ethan makes way
open
for him.
He doesn't even need he doesn't even need the slipstream. DRS is enough. He's back up in P2 now ahead of
as
Ethan.
Mika as well now goes through.
Yeah.
Into P4.
Ooh,
And
Alfie
going a bit off track there.
Yeah, just sliding through. TJ.
As we have a yellow flag.
TJ causing a yellow flag. Yeah, in the last 3 laps. So maybe Prime can find super speed, super max speed, and maybe Dooku is gonna get a time penalty. Who knows? As we can see there, TJ now being lapped by his team. Ooh, what's happening there?
Ooh.
That looked very dangerous indeed. But nothing happened, luckily. Maybe we were overreacted, but that looked like an Alpine just dancing there a little bit in the background.
I even wanted to throw in my TJ wants to play in the sand gag, but yeah, No.
I think he just wants to win the drift competition, which doesn't exist currently.
He wants to beat Nikita Mazepin in the spin competition.
Maybe, well, we all have our own records we want to break. Isn't that right?
Exactly.
Records are there to be
So-
broken. Prime now only 1.5 seconds behind Dooku. He still has this next lap to go. Maybe he can get within the 1 second gap and get snitch off the DRS. He is gaining and gaining. Look at that distance between himself and the Red Bull. So he just needs to use the ERS he has. This is gonna be the last lap. They are getting closer and closer. This might be the time that Prime needs to get the win done. He just needs to keep it within the white lines and get the ERS.
Yeah, for the final lap, who do you think is gonna win, Dooku or Prime?
Absolutely Prime. I'm absolutely for Prime. Look at him go. Look at him go. Where he started, the way he fought himself up there. I mean, he's just. I mean, Dooku had a great idea. He of course was, I think, involved in the collision. He went into the pits, decided, you know what, I'm going hard. I'm gonna go all the way. But that advantage just completely disappeared. I mean, just have a look there. Prime can literally smell, as you said earlier, the oil of the car ahead, because that's just how close he is.
Yeah. Of course, now he just needs a better line out of turn 9.
DRS
better than
now
Dooku,
wide
as
open.
he now has, with DRS on the outside, trying to go the long way around. Dooku protecting the inside, but the
forcing
inside
it off the track
go
as
for the
well.
outside as Dooku pushed him out, pushed him off track. That is not really what Prime wants to see right now. Prime right behind him, maybe trying to move up the place out of the final corner, but no, at the moment it is Dooku. Dooku is going to win in Spain in Tier 2 for round 8.
What happened there? Mika and Alfie had a moment too. Somehow the Alpine driver got some damage there. They had a collision. It will definitely be investigated after the race. The move Dooku did, however, he just forced him off there. He had to give the space. He was side by side with him. He forced him off.
Honestly, I believe the move was a good idea to push him a bit out, but not completely off the track. If you would have pushed him a bit, so he would have been still on the track, that would have been completely right in my perspective. But pushing him completely off the track, no.
Yeah, he forced him off the track and therefore gained an advantage. That is absolutely not okay. So, it will definitely be, like, for now, congratulations for Dooku, but it will be investigated after the race. So, definitely just keep an eye out for that in the next few days. As mentioned before, currently it's Dooku, who is in P1, who has won the Grand Prix. His accident with Prime will be investigated after the race. So, guys, everyone, please send your clips. Prime then finishing on the podium in P2 with Ethan alongside him in P3. The Red Bull having a great battle with the other drivers during the race. Alfie then in P4 with Mika right behind him. They had a short moment after the race. It will be investigated probably as well. Mika had front wing damage. Outcast in P6 making it some points for his team with Jack in the Aston Martin in P7 and TJ, the Alpine driver, the team colleague of Mika in P8 with Barthek, Lewis and Jolko retiring on the first lap of the Grand Prix. Everyone who's interested, please follow us into the interview channel. If you want to be interviewed, we will be there with you shortly. Until then, just wait a few minutes. Alright then, this was one hell of a race. This is the driver interview now, so let's just welcome all the drivers. Let's just start then. Snox, you may begin with your first question for the drivers.
Yeah, I would start to ask Prime. Prime, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Currently through the race, you finished P2 at the moment. How was the race for you?
At first, at the start, there was a glitch because I got a drive-through penalty, even though I started when the light was out. But that was pretty unlucky. But after the restart, I climbed my way back up to the leader and continued to follow him. Yes.
Yeah, you drove extremely good through the pack. Of course, you had the practice also last week in Tier 1 around Spain. How much do you think you improved through the race in Tier 1 to now?
I'm pretty Tier 1 was a great race for me because I'm Tier 2 driver and this Tier 1, so that was a pretty good result for me. And I've managed to get a good position in Tier 2 too. So that Tier 1 race helped me a lot. Yes.
Yeah, I don't have any more questions. SJ?
Yes, thank you very much, Prime, and congratulations on that podium.
Thank you.
Let's just continue with Ethan then. Ethan?
Hi.
Right, so you finished on the podium. Congratulations, you finished in P3. You also had an interesting battle with your teammate throughout the race. Tell me about your race. How did it go?
Well, coming from the back in P11 was pretty tricky, but thankfully I had a decent start off the back of the safety car, and with fresher tires was just able to climb through. And then me and Bell, obviously as we're teammates, we're smart with each other, so he let me go when I was faster, and then I let him go when he was faster, and it ended up giving us a decent result for the team. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, and of course you had that undercut, which promoted you like way ahead of the other drivers. So really great strategy there, but later then you were catched by Prime anyway. Did you have to fight with everything you had? How did the battles go for you?
Well, it's like a similar strategy to what I did in Brazil. I was down in Brazil, and then was 8 seconds down from Mika, I think it was, and then came out side by side with him when he came out the pit. So I was just thinking about that strategy, and then came out 5 seconds in front of him. But when my tires were going off, theirs were in their prime. So I just, when Prime caught up to me, let him go. There's no point fighting him. He's sort of in the team himself, so there's no point fighting Prime.
Well, it went well in the end there, of course, after that ridiculous move by the Williams, of course, before the restart. So, well done and amazing, yeah, fight back into the podium position.
Cheers.
Snox, do you want to continue?
Yeah, sure. Who do we have here still? Lewis.
Hello.
I know it was a bad restart for you, but luckily we had a bit of a race before the restart. So I would just ask you, how did you do before the restart?
Even before the restart, oh no, don't. Is my mic connected? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I didn't know if my mic was connected or not. Anyways, from the first bit of the race, I was already doing a bit bad. I was very close to being lapped, and then obviously the incident with Miss happened and all that. That kind of was the end of my race, like my whole race, because of like so. When the race restarted, my dad had to come in my room and like steered my steering wheel off the race start, and that's what caused me to crash off the start, which I'm not proud of whatsoever.
Mm. If you wouldn't have DNF'd on the restart, what do you think way would you come out?
I reckon I still would come out back of the pack. To be fair, I'm not one of the faster drivers. That's proven in pretty much all of my races. Never come anywhere but last. But you know, I've scored a few points, but you know, I just need more practice, try and get better, and I think that'll be the best for me.
Yeah, then I would say that's all I have to ask, and then good luck next week in Canada from my side.
Right, then let's continue with the driver today in P4, Alfie.
Hello.
Also a great race for the team, for you and Ethan, finishing P3 and P4.
I'm P2. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah,
Sorry.
pace-wise, you were also in P4. You had an interesting strategy. You went from mediums on to softs. You were holding on to them quite for some time. It just, yeah, didn't work out the way you, I think, planned. Maybe tell me more about your strategy and your thoughts about the race.
Well, the first race before the restart, I obviously messed up my qualifying and kind of nearly killed myself in the pit wall. So I had to back out of it, and then I kind of got disqualified from backwards. So I started last, made a few positions, and then when the restart came, I was P5 or 4. So I was starting in a really good position for the restart, and I just thought to do the same strategy as I did the previous race, going mediums to softs, and a lot of the soft runners stayed a lot longer than I thought they was going to stay out for. So I pitted when Mika did, so I had a lot more tire advantage at the time to be a lot quicker. So just trying to get past them all without trying to kill anyone or be dirty. And obviously, I don't know if you've seen it, but on the straight, I kind of had like a little brake check on Prime to try and let him pass because he's kind of like my reserve Red Bull driver. But a pretty good result. Puts me closer to Quickie on the championship. Same with Ethan. So we're still possible to get in the championship lead. So it's gonna be close.
Well, your team is obviously currently in the standings for the teams in P1 with 212 points. So that is definitely a major advantage. You and your teammate are also both in P2 and P3 in the driver's standing. So there's still a chance for both of you. Obviously, you just need to, as you said, continue battling. I wish you the best of luck, and it will definitely be an interesting rest of the season.
Yes, it will be. And Prime, sorry for everything, but you're pretty quick, so I had to let you past. And P2, P3, P4 for Red Bull. I'll take it, me. I'll take it. Good race for everyone.
Well done from everyone, indeed. And I think this is a good night from Snox and me. Snox, thank you very much for joining us tonight joining me today in the commentary box. It was an interesting experience indeed, and you're welcome anytime.
Thanks. I can just give it back to you. Was a pleasure to commentate alongside you this race, and maybe we can do it again next time around, sometime.
Right. Then it's been a dramatic and interesting race. Tune in next weekend, of course. We will be racing in... Where are we racing? Let me just check. In
Canada.
Montreal, in Canada. Hometown of Lance Stroll. With 3 races to go, the season is getting closer and closer to an end. So, with the championship battle also closing in more and more, don't miss out. Thank you everyone for watching, and